How's it going, my friends? Back with another video today. I know it's been a little bit of a hiatus, haven't made a video for about a week now, but I've been traveling, doing a lot of editing, and we had 2 weddings last weekend, so I've actually been kind of busy. But I was compelled to make a video because of the new firmware release. So basically, in the Discord group, we were all talking, and Eric, you were on the money with when they released the actual firmware update. He let the group know I had updated I updated 2 of my 4 cameras within like 5 minutes of the update being released, and I've been testing it ever since. And I was very compelled to make a video to talk about this. And, you know, I still am in the early stages of testing it. I don't want to just put out a technical video on the firmware update too in depth until I've really tested it on some shoots. We have 2 engagement shoots coming up this weekend, so I'm going to test it on that, obviously, and then get back to you guys with a more of a technical review of it. But I just wanted to talk about a general my thoughts on where Nikon's going and why they did this and what we can expect from them in the future. So first off, I just want to say that my preliminary testing with these updates has been absolutely spot on, phenomenal, major improvements in the autofocus. Now, Nikon has actually created basically a 3D tracking ability with the new firmware update. So the white box that you bring up, normally we had to, you go into face tracking, auto area AF, you have to hit the OK button, the white box comes up, then you have to position it on whatever you want and then track it that way. Totally different now. So all you have to do is you can map that white box to one of the FN buttons. When you're in auto area, face detect, you can just hit whatever button, the white box comes up, and then you can grab it with the back button focus or half press your shutter, however you focus, and it will grab whatever target it is. This makes it extraordinarily easy to focus and grab something and recompose. And it's a completely different workflow than we're used to with focus recompose. I know a lot of us coming from the DSLR days, we would just single point, we'd focus it and then recompose. Focus, recompose. This, you're actually grabbing something with the white box and having it just move around and it continually track no matter where your camera is pointing at. That is a huge advantage when you're going out to shoot people. Weddings, I cannot even wait till our next wedding to use this, because this is going to be able to completely change the game. I can already see myself using the joystick way less. We use the joystick to move around our dynamic area autofocus point all the time. There's not going to be much need for that now if I can just have the white box up and then just put it on a face and then just track it the whole time. And I don't even have, it can be grab a face and then recompose to another face in like less than half a second. It's so fast. I'm going to go through, don't worry guys, when I do a technical review, I'm going to go through, show you exactly how you use that and how the best workflow would be. But I just want to say, this has been the 3rd major firmware update for the Z cameras since they've been released. In what, a year and a half? Maybe not even a year and a half, right around that time. 3 major firmware updates. And this 3.0 firmware update is more, I'm just going to say it, it's more than I could have expected from Nikon. The hit rate is better. The eye autofocus is way stickier. I mean, it just stays on the face. You can put it on somebody's face and just really erratically move around the camera and it stays right to it. The hit rate has improved from my preliminary testing, absolutely. And this addition of this 3D tracking-ish type menu where you can focus and recompose with that white box and have it track around is so major. And what I think this says is we can be confident that Nikon actually really cares about the Z system. I mean, that was never really a debate for me. I know that a lot of people, were kind of on the fence. Oh my God, is Nikon just dying? Is this like a Hail Mary thing where they're just going to see if they could make the Zs sell before the company packed up and just quit making cameras? I always thought that was bullshit, and now this really just solidifies that. Nikon actually cares about these cameras. From the firmware 1 release, when I first bought these cameras, I was shooting firmware 1 at weddings. And yes, I've said this on other videos, it was not as good as the Sonys. There definitely needed to be improvements, but it was still good enough to use at weddings. And people who were saying that it wasn't just didn't have an understanding of the camera deep enough and enough time with it to actually use it, because I'm here to tell you I shot plenty of weddings even with firmware 1. So From that all the way to firmware 3.0 is such a literally, if you look at other camera companies' progression with mirrorless, Fujifilm, Sony, they're making great cameras, but their iterations of the different versions of the cameras took actual new cameras to come out. What what Z6 was with firmware 1 is not even close to what Z6 is with firmware 3. We got ProRes RAW, we got eye update autofocus in firmware 2.3 or 2.0, and then now with 3.0 we have this basically a 3D tracking mode that's different than anything I've ever seen, that makes it super easy to recompose on faces and fast moving subjects, and we get major improvements with the hit rate in AFC. So they've basically transformed this camera in a year and a half, and it shows not only with the lens selection, it shows that they are committed to this line and producing quality products. Guys, this is a quality camera, and you do not have to worry. I know that there's been a lot of, and it's, I think that, intelligent discourse is good. You know what I mean? People having competing opinions and things, as long as it's intelligent and, respectful. But to say that the Z cameras aren't capable in any way, shape, or form, especially now, is total, complete garbage. These things are going to be the future of Nikon, and you can be sure that if you've invested in them, you are going to get a company behind them that actually cares about this development. From the Z6 to the Z50 to the firmware updates to the lens selection has been an absolute just great ride. I mean, I feel awesome that I actually got in on the ground level and I bought the Z6. We were the first ones at our local camera store to buy them. We had them within the first couple weeks of them being released, and we're still with them today. And we would have no reason to change, nor would we want to, because shooting has become different with these cameras, and weddings have become more fun because not only can we be more confident than when we were with DSLRs, but things are more fun because the camera is actually out of our way now. The EVF, we don't have to worry about looking at the meter. Now with these new autofocus settings, we're even going to be able to focus and recompose and have it track subjects way more reliably than we ever have. So I think the future is very bright for Nikon. Obviously, I'm excited, guys. You can see I'm a passionate person about, new things and trends in photography. And ultimately, I believe that these cameras are going to make me able to go out and capture things that I can imagine in a better way. So if you guys are excited about this, I'd love to hear from you. Definitely drop it in the comments. Hopefully this helps. And like I said, this week I will be giving you guys a full technical review on the eye autofocus. But I just wanted to check in and let you guys know my thoughts on the direction of the Zs and where things are headed. So hopefully this video helped, my friends, and until the next video.